So I'm starting with the chemistry lessons, okay? All of you can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So any science chapter started?
Yes, Nishita.
Okay.
It's almost
Okay.
complete ಆಯ್ತು. Chemistry 2 ಆಯ್ತು. ಚಾಂದಿನಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಲು. Okay. ಅದೇ.
Okay, fine. So today I'm going to take up with the acid, bases and salt. Okay. So let me share the screen. Okay. So when you hear the term acid, base and salt, or when you hear the term acids, what comes to your mind first? Anybody? What do you think about acids? Hello. So do we use acids in our daily life, or do the acid is present in the substance or the things which we use in our daily life? So we'll start with the acid part only. Okay. So where we use the acid, or where do we find the acid? Anywhere? Or when you think about the acid, what comes first to your mind about the acid? Anybody? Nothing comes? You don't think about the acid? So we eat some fruits, right? So all the fruits are sweets only, or the taste of the fruit differs?
Differ.
Correct. So how it differ actually? Like some will be sweet in taste, some will be sour in taste. Yes. Correct, no? So have you ever think that, or ever thought that why some of the fruits are sour in taste? Do you know why fruits are sour in taste? Or can you name me some of the fruits which are sour in taste? Maybe a fruit, maybe a vegetable.
Orange.
Orange, yes, it's sour in taste. Then
Lemon.
lemon is sour in taste. Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Passion fruit.
Okay.
Guava.
Guava is sour in taste. Okay.
Tamarind.
Tamarind is sour in taste. Okay.
Green apple and green mango.
Green apple, green mango, tomato, these are all sour in taste, correct? So why they are sour in taste?
In that fruits have a vegetable, the citric acid is present.
Yeah, some of them are having citric acid, some of them are having different acids are there, not only the citric acid. Okay, so some of mainly the sour taste of fruits or a vegetable is because of the presence of acid in it. Okay, so basically what we can say about acid is a substance which is having sour taste. Correct? So first point about the acid is that acid is the one which has sour taste. Okay, so that is the first point. For like fruits like orange, apple, pineapple, tomato, etc., they taste sour because they contain acids in it. Okay, and do we have any other method to detect the acidity? Because we cannot taste everything, right? So these are all the contents which we have in our daily life, but we know that every substances we cannot identify by its taste. We cannot drink or we cannot eat everything so that to identify whether it is an acid or whether it is a base. correct? So how we can identify the acid and base? Any other method?
Using litmus paper.
Yeah, using a litmus paper. So how many types of litmus paper we have?
2 types.
2 types. Which are they?
Blue and red.
Red.
Blue litmus paper and red litmus paper. Okay. So if I have taken a container which contain a solution, okay, I don't know what solution it is. I have to identify the solution. Let me think if it is an acidic solution which is taken in a bottle, or let me take an orange. So in order to see that the orange contains some acid in it, which litmus paper I should use?
Blue litmus paper.
Yeah, blue litmus paper. So when we use a blue litmus paper, the blue litmus paper will turns into red color. So any solution, if we want to check whether it is acidic or basic, what we can do is, the first thing, if it is eatable or the things which we can eat, then we can taste that. If we taste it, if it is of sour taste, then that means it contains acid in it. And the second thing which we cannot taste, at that time we can go for a use of litmus paper. When we use a litmus paper, anyhow, as you told, there are 2 types of litmus paper. One is a blue litmus paper and one more is a red litmus paper. So in order to identify the acidic nature, we are using blue litmus paper, and this blue litmus paper turns into red, then we call it as acid. So this is about the general things or general definitions, how we can define the acid. The first one is, if it tastes sour, it is acidic. And if it turns, the blue litmus paper will be converted into red, it is called as acidic. But the definition, actual definition of acid is, we call a substance as acid if it produces hydrogen ion in water. So any substance, if it is dissolved in water, or any substance when it is added to a water, if it produces H plus ion in it, then that substances will be called as acidic or acids. So based on the amount of H plus ion, we further classified the acids. Okay, so the general definition of acid is that any substance is called as acid if it produces hydrogen ion in water. We can take an example. If I consider an example of hydrochloric acid. When we take a hydrochloric acid, and what we have to do, we need to make it to react with water. When a hydrochloric acid is made to react with water, it produces H3O plus. H3O plus means hydronium ion. Along with that, the Cl minus ion will be produced. So H3O plus comes into picture because HCl gives its H plus ion, which combines with a water molecule and become H3O, because H2O is water. When we add one hydrogen atom, it becomes H3O, and the plus charge of hydrogen ion remains the same. So we get H3O plus. And this H3O plus is called as hydronium ion. So HCl is acid because it forms hydronium ion, or because it produces H plus ion in water. So those substances which produces H plus ion in water, they are called as acidic in nature. Okay, so which are all the acids we have? What are all the different types of acids which we know? So the hydrogen ion, before that, the H plus ion, which is formed during the reaction or when the substance is dissolved in water, that H plus ion is actually responsible for the conversion of blue color of the litmus paper into the red color. So the blue litmus paper turns into red litmus paper and shows that it has got an acidic property because there is a hydrogen ion which is present in that substance. So any substance, if it has a hydrogen ion, then it turns the blue litmus paper into red. So which are all the common acids we know? The first one is HCl, which contains hydrogen and chlorine, and together it is called as hydrochloric acid. The second one we can consider H2SO4, which is called sulfuric acid. And the third one is HNO3, called nitric acid. So these are all the main three acids which will be used in a laboratories and also in the industries for the production process. Okay, in that the sulfuric acid, that is a concentrated form of sulfuric acid, is called king of chemical. So based on the amount of concentrated sulfuric acid which will be produced in a country, so there are so many countries in the world. So based on the amount of sulfuric acid which will be produced or amount of production of concentrated sulfuric acid decides about the industrial strength of the country, which means if we produce or if we prepare large amount of concentrated sulfuric acid, then that country will be called as industrially more stable country, or which is the richest one. Okay, so production of concentrated sulfuric acid plays a very important role to measure the strength of the industry. Why? Because the concentrated sulfuric acid is a starting material or is a chemical required for the production of most of the chemicals. So because of that reason, the concentrated sulfuric acid will be used to measure the strength of the or industrial strength. And this concentrated sulfuric acid is called king of chemical. Okay, the concentrated sulfuric acid is called king of chemical. So when there will be a king in the chemical, there should be queen also. So which may be called as queen of the chemical? Any idea? Which may be called as queen of the chemical? Any idea?
Nitric acid.
Which nitric acid? There are two, no? Like I told, the concentrated sulfuric acid is called king of the chemical. Like queen will be?
HNO3.
Which HNO3? Concentrated or dilute?
Concentrated.
Concentrated HNO3 is called as queen of the chemical. Yes, so the concentrated nitric acid is called the queen of the chemical. Okay, because it is a powerful oxidizing agent and also it reacts violently. So oxidizing agent means you have the idea about oxidation and reduction. Do you have any idea about oxidation and reduction? Yes, no. So oxidation means it is a process of addition of oxygen. Reduction means it is a process of addition of hydrogen. So as of now, you remember like that. Oxidation means addition of oxygen. Reduction means addition of hydrogen. So oxidizing agent means it is like an agent. For example, when we go for a passport office, correct? There will be some agents which will be who are there, correct? So that agents, what is the role of that agents in the passport office? What is the role of agents? What do the agents do? The main role of agents is they help us, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here also the nitric acid is an oxidizing agent, which means it helps in the oxidation. Okay. So the one which helps in the oxidation is called oxidizing agent. So concentrated nitric acid is a queen of the chemical. The next one, the common acid which you told is the citric acid. The citric acid will be present in citrus fruits, like we can consider orange, we can consider lemon and all, which contain citric acid. So this is something about the basic thing about the acid. So first thing, when acid is the term acid, when we hear the term, the first thing which you think is, or the first thing which comes into our mind is about the taste. So acids are sour in taste, but we cannot taste all the acids. For that purpose, we have a litmus paper. There are two types of litmus paper. One is a red and one more is a blue. If it converts blue into red, red means always a dangerous one. So conversion of blue into red means it is a danger substance which is there, which is acid. Because when we consider an acid and base, the acids are more dangerous than the bases. And one more, the main definition we can say about the acid is it is the one which produces H plus ion when dissolved in water. And that H plus ion present in water is responsible for the blue color or a blue litmus paper which turns into red, or a red color of the litmus paper is mainly because of the H plus ion. And the common acids which we use in a laboratory or in industries are hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, whereas the citric acid will be present, or it is a mild acid which is present in the fruits or the vegetables which we have. Any doubt in this part? Till now, whatever I have explained, any doubt? If you want to ask anything, okay, fine.
No, ma'am.
We'll go for the chemical properties of acid. Okay, so physical properties we have learned now. The physical properties about the taste, about the color. We all know that the acids are almost colorless in nature. Okay, so now we need to study about the chemical properties. So when we say the chemical properties, it is mainly deals with the reactions. Okay, so there are around 3 reactions which are there in your textbook regarding the acid. The first reaction is, or the first chemical reaction or a first chemical property is reaction of metal or acids with the metal. So when an acid reacts with the metal, what happens? When an acid is made to react with the metal, the hydrogen gas will be liberated from the acid. Okay, so when an acid reacts with the metal, it produces hydrogen gas. For example, we can consider Mg, which is Mg. What is the name of Mg?
Magnesium.
Magnesium. When a magnesium combines with the acid like a sulfuric acid, it forms magnesium sulfate. Okay, magnesium combines with the sulfuric acid and forms magnesium sulfate, and a hydrogen gas will be liberated. The arrow in an upward direction indicates that the hydrogen is coming out of the system in the gaseous form. The upward arrow indicates the gaseous nature of hydrogen which is formed during the reaction. So any metal we can consider zinc, we can consider copper, any metal when we consider, when it is made to react with the sulfuric acid or any acid, it liberates hydrogen gas from the reaction mixture. So that is the first chemical property of acid. The second chemical property is reaction of acids with metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate. Metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate. Metal hydrogen carbonate can also be called as metal bicarbonate. Okay, so metal bicarbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate. What happens when it is made to react with the acid? If we can consider Na2CO3, which metal is present in this case? Which is a metal here in Na2CO3?
Sodium.
Sodium is a metal. CO3 is a carbonate. Okay. When a sodium carbonate is made to react with hydrochloric acid. When a sodium chloride is made to react with the acid, or when a sodium carbonate or a carbonate form of any metal we can consider, sodium carbonate we can consider, potassium carbonate we can consider, any carbonates when we consider, when it is made to react with the acid, it forms salt, carbon dioxide and water. So which salt may be formed in this reaction? The two products which they have mentioned already, one is a carbon dioxide which liberates from carbonate and water which liberates from hydrogen and oxygen. So which salt will be formed during this reaction?
Sodium chloride.
Sodium chloride will be formed as a salt. So it produces sodium chloride salt, which is a common salt or a table salt, and water. Along with that, the carbon dioxide will be liberated. So this is how the metal carbonate react with the acid, or an acid reacts with metal carbonate. The one more which we have to consider is metal bicarbonate. Metal bicarbonate is then made to react with the same hydrochloric acid. If I take, it produces sodium chloride, water, as well as carbon dioxide. So both metal carbonate and metal bicarbonate, when they combines with the hydrochloric acid, it produces corresponding salt and water and carbon dioxide. So this is the reaction of acid with the carbonate and bicarbonate. The next reaction is the reaction of acid and base. When acid and base are made to react with water, the acidic nature of acid will be neutralized by the base. The basic nature of acid will be neutralized by the acid. So acid nullifies the effect of base and base nullifies the effect of acid. So what happens when we see? We'll take an example of a base, that is sodium hydroxide, which combines with the acid like hydrochloric acid. When an acid and a base is made to react with one another, we will end up with the formation of salt and water. So which salt will be formed here?
Sodium chloride.
Again, sodium chloride will be formed as a salt. Along with that, the byproduct of the reaction is water. And this sodium chloride which is formed, if it is dissolved in water, we'll get a sodium chloride solution. And if we check the pH, or if we check the acidity and basic nature of sodium chloride, we can see that the sodium chloride is neutral in nature. Okay, so because the effect of acid is nullified by the base, the effect of base is nullified by the acid. So the substance which is obtained is a neutral substance, and this process of nullifying the effect of acid by base or base by acid is called neutralization. And this type of reactions are called as neutralization reaction. Look at the second reaction which we have considered, that is the reaction of sodium carbonate and sodium hydrogen carbonate with the acid. Whether it is also a neutralization reaction. Whether it is a neutralization reaction or not. Yes, no. Actually, the sodium carbonate and the sodium bicarbonate which we have taken, both are slightly basic in nature. But the hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. Because of the reaction of strong acid with a weak base, we will get acidic solution. So it is not a neutralization reaction. It is an acidic solution which will be produced, because we will get a sodium chloride which is neutral, water, it is a neutral, but the carbon dioxide gas is acidic gas in nature. Always remember, the oxides of non-metals are acidic in nature, and the oxides of metal are basic in nature. Because of that reason, carbon is a non-metal which is present. So the carbon dioxide is an oxide of non-metal and it is acidic in nature. Okay, so any doubt in these reactions? Any queries? Anybody have any doubt? Shall we proceed? You can hear me properly, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we'll go for the next topic then. The next is about the strong acid and weak acid. So what is strong acid? What is weak acid? So any chemical to be called as a strong acid or to be called as weak acid, which factor may influence, or based on which factor we can say strong or weak? Any idea? There are two things based on which we say it as a strong acid or not. The first thing is, an acid is called as a strong acid if it contains higher concentration of H plus ion, which means if the amount of H plus ion in the solution is more, then it is called as strong acid. Or we can also consider when it is made to react with a water. So when an acid is dissolved in water, if it undergoes 100% dissociation, which means if I consider HCl and if it is dissolved in water, if 100% of H plus ion in HCl is converted into H3O plus, then it is called as strong acid. Okay, that process is called dissociation. Okay, if during the reaction 100% dissociation takes place, then it is called as strong acid, which means if I have taken 10 moles of hydrochloric acid or 10 volume of hydrochloric acid, and if all or complete 10 volume of hydrochloric acid will be converted into H plus ion and Cl minus ion, then it is called 100% conversion. And that conversion, we call it as dissociation, and that is called 100% dissociation. If there is 100% dissociation, then the such acids will be called as strong acid. For example, if we consider a sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, these are all the strong acid which undergoes 100% dissociation. Since there is 100% dissociation, amount or a concentration of H plus ion in the solution will be high. So if there is a high concentration of H plus ion, then it is called as strong acid. And one more term which we have is a weak acid. Weak acid means an acid which has less concentration of H plus. So strong and weak are the opposite words. So strong acid contains more concentration, then weak acid contains less concentration of H plus ion. And when this is made to undergo dissociation, then it will not undergo 100% dissociation. Only small quantity of substance will undergo dissociation. Okay, so such acids are called weak acid. We can consider citric acid, we can consider carbonic acid, ethanoic acid, etc. So if we take a 10 volume of citric acid, then it will not give 10 volume of H plus ion. Instead, the amount of H plus ion formed after dissociation or after breakage will be less than 10 mole, which will be around 1 to 2 volume will be present in product side. So that indicates that most of the H plus ions are not undergoing dissociation. They are present as such in the reactant, which means the concentration of H plus ion in the solution will be less when compared to the strong acid. So we call such acids as weak acid. So understood the difference between the strong acid and weak acid? Any doubt? No, I guess. Okay, we'll move to the next part then. The next part is about the bases. So acids we have considered. The next part is the base. When we say a base, like acid which is having sour taste, the bases are having bitter taste. Bitter taste, andre it kahi. Okay, so when we consider a neem, when we consider a bitter gourd, these are all bitter in taste, correct? Or when if we have seen the taste of soap. So while taking a bath, if small amount of soap which has touched our tongue, then we feel that it is having bitter taste, correct? So that bitterness of that bitter taste of any substance or anything which we consider, that is because of the base which is present in it. So bitter gourd, neem, they are all bitter in taste. The bitterness is because of the presence of base in it. So if the soil is having any acidic nature, okay, then if we plant a neem in it, when a neem plantation will be done, the neem leaf will be falling on the earth, correct? That neem leaf contains base content in it. So that neutralizes the acidic nature which is present in the soil. The acidic nature of the soil can be nullified or can be reduced by planting the neem tree, because the leaves of the neem tree, when it falls on a soil, it reduces the acidic effect of the soil which is present. So we define base as the substance which tastes bitter. The one more definition about the base, like as I already told, we cannot taste all the bases. So what we can do is we can go for the use of litmus paper. When we use the litmus paper, the base will turn red litmus paper into blue. So by this, we came to know that the solution or the substance which we have taken is basic in nature. So red to blue is called base. The next definition is when a base is dissolved in water. When acid is dissolved in water, it produces H plus ion. Similarly, when a base is dissolved in water, it produces OH minus ion. There is oxygen, there is hydrogen, together called as hydroxide ion. Okay. For example, if we consider NaOH, what is NaOH? Na is sodium, OH is hydroxide. So together, sodium hydroxide. When a sodium hydroxide is dissolved in water, it produces Na plus ion, and along with that, OH minus ion will be formed. Okay, so sodium hydroxide, when it is dissolved in water, it produces Na plus ion and OH minus ion. The formation of OH minus ion during this reaction indicates that the sodium hydroxide is a base. And common bases which are present are, one is sodium hydroxide, which will be present in a soap, potassium hydroxide, and we can also consider calcium hydroxide. So these are all the common bases which will be used in a laboratory as well as day-to-day life. Okay, so any doubt regarding bases? Any doubt? All slept or what? Feeling sleepy? Okay, we'll move to the next topic then. The next topic is chemical properties of bases. So similar to the acid, the bases also have a chemical property. The first property of base is similar to that of acid. That is, bases also reacts with the metal to produce hydrogen gas. For example, if we consider sodium hydroxide and it is made to react with the metal Zn, which is Zn. Which metal is Zn?
Zinc.
Zn is zinc. So it produces Na2ZnO2 called sodium zincate. It is a compound formed by the combination of sodium hydroxide and zinc. Along with that, there will be a liberation of hydrogen gas. Okay, so the liberation of hydrogen gas is also found in case of bases when it is made to react with the metal. The second chemical property is about the base react with the acid, that is again called neutralization reaction. In case of neutralization reaction also, the base combines with the acid and we get the salt. Along with that, water will be formed as a product. Okay, so when we feel acidity, what do we do? What you people will do? What you people will do?
Take medicines.
Which medicine you will take?
Which is used to overcome the acidity.
Yeah, in order to overcome the acidity, what kind of medicine we should take? Like what should be there in that medicine to reduce the acidity? Acidity happens to our body, we need to reduce the acidity, correct? No? So in order to reduce the acidity means we need to reduce the acidic content which is present in the body. So how we
Antiacid.
can reduce? How?
Taking antacids.
By taking antacid. So antacids means it is bases which is present. So when you feel acidity, what your mom suggests to have? Or what your parents suggest to have? You never share with the parents or what? Or what medicine you have when you feel acidity? Which medicine you'll have? Can you name any of them?
To eat bitter gourd.
Eat bitter gourd. Your mom suggests to eat bitter gourd. Rantac. Okay, Rantac is a medicine which will be used, okay? So usually when we feel acidity, the first thought which comes into our mind is, which one? Eno, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Eno contains magnesium hydroxide in it. So magnesium hydroxide, whether it is acid or a base?
Base.
Yeah, it is a base. So the Eno which contains base magnesium hydroxide, correct? That neutralizes the acidic content, correct? So we need to have those substances which neutralizes the acid content in our body. So actually in our daily life, when we feel acidic, we don't rush for Eno in the beginning. We have cumin. Have you tried? Cumin means jirige. So anybody try to eat cumin? So usually when I feel acidity, my mom usually suggests me to have cumin first. Okay. If you have lemon water, the acidity will be increased. Okay. So she used to suggest me the cumin. The main reason is the cumin is alkaline in nature. The alkalinity of the cumin will neutralizes the base which is present in us. So before having Eno or anything, we can have cumin which is there at our home. No need to go for any medicine. We can reduce our acidity by having cumin. Okay. So next time if you feel acidity, try to eat cumin. So just bite it and have it, just chew it completely and have it. Okay. So the acidity will be reduced. So cumin reduces the acidity because cumin contains a bitter taste, and also the bitter taste is because of the presence of base in it. So the neutralization of acid and base is called neutralization reaction. The same thing happens when we have or when we feel acidity, we need to neutralize that acidity. In order to neutralize that acidity, we have to go for a base. The best base which we can have is a cumin without any chemicals. Okay, so next time you can try. So this is about the chemical properties of the base. Any doubt? Okay, we'll move to the next topic then. The next topic is about the pH scale. Have you heard the term pH scale? Cumin is jirige. Okay, so have you heard about the pH? Yes, no. pH scale. Okay, so pH means The word meaning of pH is potential of hydrogen. Potential of hydrogen is pH. Okay, so pH scale will be used to measure the acidity and basicity of the substance. Okay, so when we say the pH scale is actually the one which tells us how much acidic or alkaline the solution is. So by using the pH scale, we can measure how much acidic the solution is and how much basic the solution is. And pH means it is a measurement of hydrogen ion concentration in the solution. And this pH scale has a range from 0 to 14. Have you heard this? The range of pH scale is from 0 to 14. 0 to 7 is called something. 7 and above is called something. Do you have idea about pH? So pH is basically the scale, okay, which will be used to measure how much acidic, how much basic the solution is. Because by using the litmus paper, we can identify whether it is acid or base. We cannot identify the extent of acidity and extent of basicity or alkalinity. So in order to measure that, we use the pH scale. The range of the pH scale is from 0 to 14. 0 to 7 or a less pH value is more acidic solution, and greater the pH value, more alkaline the solution is. So we divide the pH scale into 3 parts. The first part is 0 to, first one, if you consider exactly middle of 0 and 14, that is 7. If it is pH is 7, which means it is neutral in nature. We can consider a distilled water, sugar solution, salt solution. They are all having pH value of 7, which means they are neutral in nature. And if the pH value lies between lesser pH value, less than 7, then it is acidic. If the pH value is more than 7, then it is basic in nature. So 0 to 7, in which 1, 2 values are there for as a pH value is 1 or 2, then it is the strongest acid. And about the bases, if the value of pH is near to 14, then it is the strongest base. Okay, in between we have the mild acids and a mild bases. And in order to measure the pH of the solution, we generally use universal indicator. Have you heard the term indicator? So indicator is a one which used to indicate the acidic and a basic nature by changing the color. Okay, based on the color, we can see the pH of the solution. Okay, so what is that universal indicator is? So universal indicator is actually a strip of paper, a paper strip which contains mixture of dyes in it. Dyes means different colored substances, or a dyes means it is a pigment. Okay, so that changes its color based on pH of the solution. As the pH of the solution changes, the color of the solution or the color of the universal indicator paper also changes. So this is the universal indicator. Okay, so this is actually a paper strip. And when it is dipped into a particular solution, for example, gastric juice means which will be present in our body, inside our body. Okay, so the gastric juice contains hydrochloric acid in it. So if the content of gastric juice increases in our body, then we feel acidity. Okay, so the gastric juice, if we dip the universal indicator, the color changes to red. Okay, so that indicates that it is more acidic. So you can see the strip here. As we move from 0 towards 7, the color becomes lighter as we move. So 0 is the strongest, 1 light, and the color goes on changes. And when we reaches to 7 pH, the color is around like little bit greenish. Okay, from red, it changes to yellow, light yellow, green, and becomes parrot green around. The lemon juice which we have, that is also acidic in nature, which is around, which will be having little bit of red in color. And as we move after 7, the color becomes darken again and it reaches to blue. So red to blue, the color transformation takes place. If we consider a sodium hydroxide solution whose pH is about 14 and it is the strongest base, the milk of magnesia or magnesium hydroxide, which is of around 10 pH, which is light blue in color. So this is how we can identify about the acidic strength and the basic strength of the solution. If it is strongly acidic or it is a strong acid, then it produces dark color, red, dark red or a red color. And if it is basic in nature, it produces blue color. Okay, so based on this, the universal indicator, we can identify about the acidic and basic strength. Any doubt? Any doubt about the pH scale? And at home, we have one indicator. Do you know which is that? The indicator which we use in our daily life? One indicator is there in our home, but we don't know where it is an indicator. We all have turmeric at home, right? Turmeric powder is there at home. The turmeric powder is an indicator. Okay, so by using turmeric powder, we can identify whether the substances are acidic or basic. So you can try by yourself, take a turmeric powder and add lime juice into it. See the color. Take a water, you can take a soap water, you can take a hand wash, anything, whatever it is there at home, you can take that and you can see what is the change in color which is made. Remember, if you get red color while adding a substance into a turmeric powder, then the substance which you added to the turmeric powder is acidic in nature. Not acidic, it is basic in nature. Okay, remember, when you add substance into an indicator, that is turmeric powder, and if you get red color, that indicates that that substance is basic in nature. You can take a soap, you can take, or you can take detergent, you can take anything, you can take, you can see. Okay, similarly, take a acidic substance like a lime juice and add it to a turmeric powder. When you add something into a turmeric powder and the color remains the same, that indicates that it is acidic in nature or neutral in nature. So turmeric powder produces only two colors, either red or the color remains same. If the color changes to red, it indicates that it is basic, and if its color remains the same, it will be either acidic or neutral in nature. You can try it by yourself at home. Okay, the next thing, the next topic is about the salts. So how the salt will be formed? The salts will be formed by the combination of acid and base. During the neutralization reaction, acid combines with the base or the base combines with the acid and will get the salt. But when we prepare a salt, so salt is formed by when acid is neutralized by the base. But when we prepare the salt, we can prepare the salt two types. One is salt of strong acid and strong base. When we use a strong acid and a strong base, complete strength of acid will be neutralized by the strength of base. For example, strong acid, I have taken 10H plus ion, strong acid, and strong base which contains 10OH minus ion. So 10H plus ion strength will be neutralized by 10OH minus ion and will get water, which means we will get the salt which is neutral in nature and its pH value is 7. We have one more type of salt, that is a strong acid, weak base. Strong acid contains 10H plus ion, weak base contains around 4OH minus ion. Now what happens? The 4OH minus present in a base can neutralize only 4H plus ion from the acid. Remaining 6H plus ion remains as such and which makes the salt acidic. And when we measure the pH of that, the pH value will be less than 7. Similarly, if I do the vice versa condition, that is, if I take a strong base and weak acid, for example, strong base contains 10OH minus ion and weak acid contains 4H plus ion. Now what happens? The 4H plus ions neutralizes 4OH minus ion. But the remaining OH minus ion remains as such and which makes the substance basic. And the pH value will be more than 7. We can take an example. If I take a strong acid like hydrochloric acid, strong base like sodium hydroxide, we'll get a salt which is having pH 7. If I take hydrochloric acid and a weak base, we can consider sodium carbonate, I can consider sodium carbonate or a sodium bicarbonate. They are all the weak bases which we have. That weak bases which is present, when it combines with the acid, we will get the mixture whose pH value is less than 7 because acid is strong, base is weak. If I take a strong base like sodium hydroxide and a weak acid like citric acid, then the solution will be having the pH more than 7 because it is basic in nature. Okay, so this is about the salt. The salt will be formed when acid is neutralized by the base, and this salt are of 3 types. One is a neutral salt, which is formed by the combination of strong acid and strong base, and one more is a acidic substance or a salt which is having a pH value less than 7, and the one which is having pH value more than 7. Any doubt regarding the salts? Any doubt, guys? Any doubt till now, whatever I have explained? If you have any doubt, you can ask. Understood the topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So I'll end the meeting then. We'll continue the next portion in the afternoon. Okay? We'll end the meeting. You have another class now? Do you have another class? Do you have another class? Yes, no. One more class is there now for you people? No. Okay. So then you can leave, okay?